Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music, any old way you choose it.
Hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, and I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned! Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And in this video, you can see that I am not sitting in front of the Coke wall, and that is because I am doing an audio corner tour. So I'm going to be sharing this little corner in my apartment where I love listening to records. I've got a great little setup. I'm very happy with it, and I can't wait to share it all with you. Now, typically Fridays, we do talk about what's spinning on my turntable, so I will be showing you what I've been listening to as well. And I hope you guys enjoy this tour. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your setup is like, what turntable you have, what speakers you have, so we can all learn about each other's audio equipment. And leave me a comment also down below and let me know what you've been listening to this week on your own turntables. Now, I have some exciting news. This Sunday, I will be live on Patrick's channel. That's the Trusty Huckster Mercantile. I will link his channel down below. He has a fabulous channel, and I am going to be on doing a deep dive on vinyl. So we'll be spending an hour talking all about vinyl, getting into the history of it, collecting all kinds of records, and I've got some really cool things to share with you all, so you don't want to miss that. That's this Sunday, 8 p.m. on the Trusty Huckster Mercantile channel here on YouTube. Okay, so let's jump into the audio corner. So we are at the audio corner of my apartment now, and this really is my happy place. There is something absolutely magical about putting on a record, dropping that needle, and hearing the sound. I love kicking back with a good record and just relaxing. So I bet a bunch of audio guys and gals are probably yelling at me through the screen right now because yes, I have my turntable on the same surface as my speakers, and no, they're not centered in the middle of the wall. But you have to work with what space you have when you live in a one-bedroom apartment. As you can see, the door leading to my patio is smack dab in the center of this wall. So I am working with what I have, and I'm very pleased with the sound. My couch is right here in front of the speakers, and I really do feel like I've hit that sweet spot when I listen to records. It's perfectly centered, and it works out really well. Now, I have some great speakers and a really good turntable, in my opinion, and everybody has something in their own setup that they're really proud of, but I love my Fluence turntable. I think it is a fantastic mid-level turntable for what you get. You really get a lot of features that you would expect to see on a high-end turntable that's probably 10 times the price, and that was one of the reasons why I chose the Fluence when I was shopping around for a good record player, simply because I wanted something that would grow with me as my audio needs changed and as I wanted to upgrade my sound. So this system, this player really allowed me to do that. This is the Fluence RT82. It is a very solid plinth, and the good thing is, in my opinion, is it is a belt-driven turntable. I do not care for the noise of the direct drive turntables. I really think that they add that extra little bit of noise from the motor that's just kind of annoying when you're listening to vinyl, because after all, it really is about the sound and the best sound possible. So this is why I like belt-driven turntables, and this is a belt drive turntable. The other thing that's really nice is you have a counterweight on the back. You can adjust the tracking force, and thus you can change the record needle and the cartridge out, which other turntables in the same price point don't really allow you to do. You're kind of stuck with what they give you. Now, this turntable came with the Audio-Technica AT95E, which is a good cartridge, but I wanted to upgrade, so I got the Ortophon 2M Red. It is an elliptical
diamond tip stylus, and it's a moving magnet cartridge. Now I really like it because it's got this wonderful warm sound, and the elliptical stylus is great because I really feel like that tracks the groove a little bit better than some of the other stylus types out there. So I'm quite happy with the Ortofon, and of course I could upgrade. You know, you can get the blue, or I think you can get even the bronze and the black now at a little bit better price than they were, but they're still pretty expensive, so I don't think I'll ever be able to go for that. But I do love the red, very, very happy with it. Good, warm, detailed sound. Now the platter is nice, and you've got a really nice thick plinth on this turntable as well. And the one other small detail that really made me happy was the dust cover, and this is such a minute thing to pick apart and really like, but most of the dust covers on my other turntables have been kind of flimsy, and they come off very easily, and when you're working with records and you hit it, sometimes it would just knock off. And this one is on there to stay. Of course you can take it off if you want, but it's really secure. And I just like that. It's just a good detail, a nice extra little feature. So for the price, I mean, you just can't beat a Fluence turntable. And they look really nice. The finish on these really are fantastic. Now this has a metal platter, and it came with a nice rubber mat, but I have upgraded the mat to an acrylic mat. You can get these on Amazon. This is a Hudson Hi-Fi mat. It only costs about $25, which is great, and I really like it. It does help cut down on some of that static. Now my speakers are Klipsch, and I have always loved the Klipsch brand. I think they look good as well as sound really good. The Klipsch has been around forever, and they're just a phenomenal brand when it comes to audio equipment, and specifically speakers. So I have the Klipsch R41PMs. These are bookshelf speakers. They are a good size for this room. They're really nice. And the other thing that I like is that they are powered. So they work with my turntable. As I mentioned, I don't have a lot of room. This turntable has a built-in preamp, and the speakers are powered, so it's perfect for a small space like mine. And one day down the road I will get a receiver. I'd like to get a vintage Marantz. I haven't found one yet that actually works, and I don't know that I'm willing to do the restoration work needed on those. I mean, I do woodworking, so I probably could figure it out, but this is just perfect for me at the moment. But the speakers are really good, and the other thing that's neat about them is they are Bluetooth, which is kind of handy when you have like a dinner party and you don't want to constantly keep changing records. You can put on something low in the background, and it's just nice. I also have a Sirius XM subscription, so I do listen to some of the programming a lot on 50s on 5. I listen to it quite a bit, and there's a Neil Sedaka hour and a Pat Boone hour where they talk music, and I love listening to that through these speakers. So really great choice. Now I also have a subwoofer, and I got this subwoofer from a guy at our local record store. He was selling it for an amazing price. I honestly couldn't believe I got it that cheap. And he, you know, had other better equipment, was just ready to pass it along. So I'm thrilled to get it. Now this is the Klipsch, let's see, it's the Klipsch R12OSW subwoofer. Now this is the 12-inch subwoofer, and they do make a 10-inch, but I don't have the 10-inch. So this is really a good subwoofer. Very, very loud if you wanted it to be. If you want to turn the gain up on it and rattle the walls, you can. Actually, when I first got it, it was funny. My best friend was over here, and we thought, oh, let's put this thing to the test. It was the middle of the day, so no one could complain to the management, and we put on a really heavy metal album that she liked and turned it up, and boy, the walls started rattling. This thing certainly packs a punch, but I have it turned down just so my neighbors don't complain. But it's a great subwoofer, great addition to my little setup over here. Now I do have a record crate. Well, this is actually a milk crate, but I use it for records, and this is kind of like my outgoing ingoing box. I use this for records that either need to be cleaned, that are new, so they need to be cleaned, they need to get a new inner sleeve and all of that stuff, or records that I'm going to show to you on my Friday show that I show what's spinning. And currently in the record crate, or the milk crate, I have all the records that I've been labeling and preparing for the deep dive that I'll be on Sunday. So Sunday you can watch me live talking records with Patrick over at Trusty, Huckster, Mercantile. I'm doing a whole special on records, on talking everything from record history to collecting records, getting started in that, and what you need to look out for, and different types of records, and so on and so forth. So I've got quite a bit pulled there, and I've been working on that. So that's what's in that bin. Now, I also have my record cabinet. This is really cool. This is a 1950s oak cabinet, and as a woodworker, I'm always amazed by the quality on some of these older pieces of furniture, because they really do not make things like they used to, and this is extremely solid. Very heavy, very nice piece of furniture here. I picked up a long time ago from an antique store, and I really am happy with it. Now, when I was looking for something to store records, I debated quite a bit on whether I should get the Kallax shelves from IKEA, and to be honest, they were very tempting because they do fit records really well. It's almost like they were thinking of record collectors when they made the shelf. But my downfall, or the downfall of them, my hesitation was I had seen way too many videos of people's record shelves, the Kallax shelves, just collapsing and all the records being broken. So that was kind of my fear. They do work really well, and I see everyone in the VC has them, and they are, you know, perfect for records. So nothing wrong with it if you've got it, but this is why I chose this cabinet, and I really think it's gorgeous. Now, I have two shelves full of records. I could have a full another shelf if I adjusted the shelves in this cabinet. Before I bought it, I tested it with records to make sure I could add more to my collection, and I can. But right now, I've got just the perfect amount of space for some new ones, and I have a whole shelf up here for 45s. So I'm really happy with how this is laid out at the moment. And in the corner here, you can see that I have all the grills for my speakers. Down here, I have taken them off. I don't think it affects the sound, and I quite like how that looks. Klipsch does a great job with their copper spun subwoofers and their beautiful screws. They're copper colored screws. They're just a really nice presentation when you take off the grill, so I like that. Now, in the cabinet on the bottom, I have a stack of records that I just put in there like this, so they have not been laying in there very long, so I promise you they're not warping. I'm going to change that immediately after the deep dive, but these are records that I need to file away. And then I also have my spin clean down there. I like the spin clean. It is a little bit expensive for what it is, but it does work extremely well. And I don't have room for a whole vacuum system, although that would be really nice because they clean records really well. But this is fantastic, and it fits well down here. So I've got my spin clean. And I have another little file drawer, kind of industrial looking cabinet that I do have a small file drawer dedicated to more record things, like I've got my microfiber cloth and more cleaning fluid and all that in another spot in my apartment. But this is the main stuff that I use all the time, along with my records and my audio equipment. So the bottom shelf has kind of a mishmash of records. I don't organize mine by genre. A lot of people do that, but I have to organize them by artist, because for me that's the only way I'm ever going to find anything. So I love these little cards. You can get them from Amazon for, I think, 100 of them, $25. I'll try to link them down below. Very reasonable. They're kind of like the cards you see at a record store, and they're great because you can just write on them with Sharpie, and then if you want to change them, you can cross the Sharpie out and do whatever you want. They're just fantastic. So the bottom shelf has some 50s, but mainly 70s and other artists. 50s is where my heart is, but I love all music, so I have quite a variety. And I've got a lot of Andy Williams down here. Now, I moved him down here recently because I've gotten so much of him that it doesn't really make sense to put him up here. So this first little spot is all Andy Williams right here. Then I have Elton John, Billy Joel, Neil Diamond. I've got a Boston record, Queen, Bob Marley. What is this? Beach Boys, of course, the Beach Boys. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, lots of Jimmy Buffett, big Jimmy Buffett fan. Don Williams, Alabama. Now, this is kind of fun. I've got some sound effects records here and some patriotic records, which I just think are fun. I love the fanfare records for 4th of July that feature like the Boston Pop Symphony. Really a great record. Very inexpensive to get, but the sound effects one is just sort of cool. It's like movie sound effects. So I had to pick that up because it's such a unique record. And then I've got miscellaneous. Now, the miscellaneous has compilation albums. So here is a compilation blues album that I picked up for Record Store Day, so that's in there. And then I've got the Ventures, and then all of my Christmas is down here at the end. Now, up top is where all my 50s and 60s are, minus Andy Williams. So I have lots of records up here. So the first section here is all of my Chuck Berry. Big Chuck Berry fan. Got lots of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. I've got the Andrews Sisters, the Diamonds, the Drifters, Moonglows, the Teenagers, Roy Orbison, the Nutmegs, Four Tops, Bill Haley in the Comments, Dottie Stevens, the Rays. I've got, let's see, oh yes, Coca-Cola record here. Yeah, this Coca-Cola record's very cool. It's featuring wartime. It's a wartime record for Coca-Cola, and I showed it on my channel, so you can go back and listen to it. But it's a really neat record showing what Coca-Cola would do, what they were doing during the war to help the war efforts in World War II. So that's a cool record. Then I've got some Chubby Checker, love him. The Regents, we've got the Duke of Earl, Gene Chandler, Rocketeens, Drifters, the Capris, the Duprees, Buddy Holly, Danny and the Juniors. We've got the Everly Brothers, Elvis, of course, the Dominoes, the Del Vikings, High-Lows, the Impressions, the Crew Cuts, the Marvelettes, Temptations, the Ink Spots, Chordettes, Flamingos, Cleftones, Platters, Supremes, Coasters, Perry Como, Doris Day, and then some Ray Conniff. So lots of good stuff here. Didn't want to go through everything because we'd be here all day, but that's mainly what I've got on the top shelf. And then, of course, I've pulled some things for the deep dive. So we've got the Marcells, the Penguins, Dion and the Belmonts. I've got a really cool Flexi 78 that I'll be showing tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Sunday on the deep dive, as well as a Flexi disc, a cereal box record. This is cool. This is an advertising record. You can see that I've labeled it from the 1950s. It's Music to Shave By. It's a cardboard record, novelty thing that would have come with the Remington Roll-O-Matic shaver. So I think that's kind of neat. It's something different to show, but I really like that little record there. So that's where some of my stuff is at the moment. Now, the top shelf has all of my 45s, and then it has things that are either special to me or that I use on my record player all the time. So one of the first things I have here, which I think is neat, this is an Edison gold mold record. This is one of the first examples of early records. Hopefully the camera will focus there. It's trying to focus on the light. There it goes. Edison Gold Mold Records. This is from 1906, which is quite amazing it survived because these cylindrical records break really easily. But this is not your standard black. This is blue. So this showcases the first example of a blue or colored record. So I think that's really neat. And this just is not showing up, but it is like a navy blue, and it is really fabulous. So I've got that. Then I've got my Audioquest Brush. Really does a good job with static. You'll see a theme here with the Nipper Dog. I love RCA Victor and the Nipper Dog, so I've got a little plate here. I've got my 45 adapter. Love the metal ones. The plastic ones are fine, but this is just really neat, and I got it from Amazon. And of course, I have to have my Zero Onzo Dust. I couldn't live without this thing, and boy is it dirty. It needs a clean. I'll have to work on that after this video's over, but this is great. And then more, you know, RCA things. I've got the Nipper Dog featured on a needle tin here, which is really great. I love these old tins. They're fabulous. So I've got several of those needle tins. A Coca-Cola novelty item. I wouldn't say it was novelty, but it was given away by the Coca-Cola bottling plant. This is a boater's keychain. You know, it float in the water. This is from 1960. It says "Welcome aboard," and it has the fishtail sign. I keep that in here just so that it doesn't get lost, because it is relatively small, and the red color is nice. Now, another little special object here is this TV tape. This is a measuring tape, again RCA, but this belonged to my grandfather. He was an electrical engineer, and he worked at a local radio station that his father kind of started. It was the first radio station in southeast Missouri, and he worked there after his father retired, and he did all the stuff for the radio station. So he carried around these measuring tapes all the time in his pocket, along with little rulers and all kinds of things that he needed. And so I value this. Having one of his measuring tapes is really, really special, and the graphics are just fantastic. Another special item that belonged to a family member is this pitch pipe. It belonged to my grandmother, and she was a music teacher. And I remember going to their house in Missouri as a kid and sitting by the piano and playing with this pitch pipe, because as a little girl it made such a funny noise. And I just treasure this. So this sits in my record player. It has this fabulous music note graphic on the back engraved in the metal. And it's just really special, so it stays in here. Now, I use the silver cup. This belonged to somebody in our family, and it's kind of funny because my mom and I cannot figure out who this belonged to, because the initials on it do not match up to anybody that we know or would have been like my great-great-grandparents or anything. So we don't know where this came from, but it's beautiful, and I use it to store my remote for my speakers, so it fits perfectly in here. Now, in the back, I just have this little recipe box. It's a vintage recipe box, and it holds extra 45 adapters and a little level. Just in case I ever needed it, it's here. So I keep that in the back for small things. Now, the vase back there is handmade by a fellow woodworker, and it's just beautiful, so it sits in there. And then I've got all my 45s. Now, I'll admit, these are not organized at all, and I really need to get a bin in here and little cards so I can label it. But I have some great 45s, lots of 50s stuff in here. The first record in here is the Edsels on dub. This is Bells and Ramalama Ding Dong, and you can see my notes on it because I talked about it on one of my shows. But here's the second press of it. That's not the true original, and this isn't either. The original was on dub, but it was actually spelled incorrectly. It was just, what did I have here? I wrote, yes, it was just Lama Rama Ding Dong instead of Ramalama Ding Dong. It was spelled wrong, and this is not the version that's spelled wrong. But this is on Twin when they became popular. So this is the second press, and this is fantastic. I've also got the Purple People Eater by Sheb Woolley on MGM. The flip side being I Can't Believe You're Mine. I also have, this is fantastic. This is one of my favorite 45s. This is on Brunswick. This is by the Accents. It's Wiggle Wiggle. And I've got Dreamin' and Schemin' on the flip side by the Accents. Great 45. Also some Chordettes. This is Cadence with Zorro. And Love is a Two-Way Street. That's probably my favorite Chordettes record. And then we've got Specialty here, Tutti Frutti, Little Richard. And Just a Lonely Guy. And then my favorite album, not album, but 45 jacket sleeve is this Billy Joel, Uptown Girl, and on the back it's Careless Talk. This is a great little 45. Big Billy Joel fan, and I love this. So I've got lots of 45s, and I'll show them all to you in another video at some point. But that is just a selection of some of the 45s I have. Now, for the part of the video where I show you what's been spinning this week, I have a stack of 45s here that I was just listening to earlier today and have been throughout the week. And if you want to hear these, you can go to my Instagram page, vintage_and_vinyl. I'll link that down below, and I do share these so you can hear little snippets from my turntable. But the first one is Attico, Dream Lover by Bobby Darin and Bull Moose. That's a great 45. I'm just going to put that on top of my record weight there. Now, this next one is one that I was really excited to get. This is on Delphi. This is Come On Let's Dance by the Carlos Brothers. And it's interesting because the guy online had it listed at G+. And that record's really hard to get at a good price. So I was willing to pay it and just settle with the G+. But I have to say, that is more VG+. So I really got a good deal. Only paid $7 as opposed to the $120 that other people want. So it's a very good deal. I got it off of Discogs. Now this is on Attico. This is another Bobby Darin. This is Splish Splash. And we've got Judy, Don't Be Moody. Great song. And then the last 45 here is one that I was also very excited to get because the crests are hard to find. And this is on Coed. This is 16 Candles. That's their big hit. And then the flip side is Beside You. So great music that I've been spinning this week. Guys, that is it for my record player. Oh wait, I didn't show you what I've got over here. I've got some cool things over here. So hang on just a minute. We've got a souvenir record from Coke Time by Eddie Fisher. And this came in a record sleeve. It didn't belong on the Boston record, but I thought it was fabulous. This is a Capitol Records inner sleeve, probably from around 1950, 1960, but I have been to the Capitol Records building in Burbank, California, so this is just a really neat graphic, and I put it in one of these record frames. I really like it. And then here's the souvenir record from Coke Time. Now, the records on the wall here are in really poor shape. This one's not playable, but I got it for 50 cents, so I thought because it's Coca-Cola and it's records, I would just use it as a display piece on the wall. So here it is. I have It's the Real Thing, Coca-Cola, a great advertisement song from the 70s. I've got that 45, and then I've got It's the Madison Time. I don't know where this was given away, maybe at a school dance or something like that. This is from, I'm guessing, around 1950s, late 50s, maybe into the 60s, I'm not sure. But this is a really neat piece. On the back it showcases how to do the Madison step by step. And then here it's got these great Coca-Cola graphics. Yeah, I would say 60s because see, the advertisement there is for King Coke. And then you have the fishtail, which is a very 1960s thing for Coke. So I'd say 60s. And then you've got an ad for Bubble Up. And it has this cool record. It's sponsored, I think, by Columbia Records. This is just fun. Really love this little piece of advertising. And then my favorite two places in all of St. Louis, probably all in the U.S., because this little area just makes me so happy. It really is a great place. This is the Del Mar Loop in St. Louis. It's a little artsy community, home to Chuck Berry. It has the Blueberry Hill Restaurant, Museum, and live venue. Chuck Berry's played there many times. And it has the world's largest collection of Chuck Berry memorabilia. You can go visit it. It's phenomenal. They have great, fun diner food. It's just a cool place. And then across the street is my all-time favorite record store. I haven't been to the mall, but I really love vintage vinyl in the Del Mar Loop in St. Louis. So that is a fun little bumper sticker that I collected from both of those places. And then, of course, I have my RCA Victor, another nipper here. This is from a 1916 talking machine, Victor phonograph. You can see that there. And this is not as old as some of the other plaques from various talking machines, but this is a really neat piece, and I added it to my record player. And of course I got Nipper up there. He's not a chalkware nipper. I wish he was. They're hard to get, so he just is a repro from the 70s, but he spends a lot of time watching records go round, so he's cool. And I've got my Starburst Coca-Cola cup from the 60s. Love a good Starburst, don't we all? They're just so fun. And then over here I've got a series of advertisements showcasing record history. So the first one is for Columbia Records. Now this is showcasing their long-playing vinyl. They are the ones to officially make popular the 33 1/3 RPM and set the industry standard. So this is an ad for LPs for 33 1/3, and this came out in 1948, the year that Columbia Records invented 33 1/3 and put it out on the market. So that's really cool. Now the next ad is for Motorola Portables, and the graphics are just awesome. But what I love about it is it has an ad for their new record player, and it works for 45 RPMs, and it talks about, yes, it plays the new 45 RPM records. So I think that's very cool. And then the last ad is an ad for RCA. Now RCA was the company that did invent the 45. They came out in 1949. That was sort of their way of getting back, in a sense, at Columbia, kind of putting their thing out on the market. Because in the mid-1930s, they actually tried to market the 33 1/3, but it was the height of the Great Depression and nobody wanted to buy new equipment or records, so it was a total washout, and Columbia beat them to becoming having something that was marketable and having something that was marketable, geez Katie, and to set the industry standard. Now this is an ad showcasing 45s and also talking about their new 45 disc changer, so you didn't have to keep flipping the 45s, which do get annoying. So this would hold stacks of 45s and play through them. So that's just a really neat ad from 1949. So that is officially my whole record setup, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Well, stay tuned for more content on my channel, and please go check me out this Sunday at 8 o'clock on Trusty Huckster Mercantile's channel here on YouTube. And I hope you guys will stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube.
That's why I go for that rock and roll music.